Hello trader, welcome back to another weekly forex forecast for the third week of July 2025. We have seen past week there was a potential reversal on DXY as well as on XAUUSD. Let's see this week what kind of trading opportunity you might have in all those instruments. In this weekly forex forecast, I'm going to do a complete multi-time frame analysis as well as potential trade setup on DXY, British Pound US Dollar, Euro Dollar, NZD USD, Dollar CAD, AUD USD, XAU USD, as well as yen pairs, GBP, JPY, and Dollar Yen. Now this is going to be an in-depth analysis. Traders, make sure that you stick till the end to see what kind of trading opportunity you might have in this upcoming week. In addition to that, also if you want to access the premium group, currently we have a couple of spots available to join the mentorship, lifetime access to everything including courses, live signal group, as well as daily trade breakdown. Also all my automated trading system accessible to the premium group. You can access this group with only 85% off today. Few spots open. You can find link below this video. You can visit the website www.forextradingwizard.com to find out more about joining the group. So I highly encourage you to check out the website to find out more about this opening. So with that being said, let's begin this week's weekly forex forecast. We'll begin with DXY. Okay, today, so let's begin with first of all looking at bigger picture. As usual, we look at all the instrument. First of all, higher time frame, and then we do the top down analysis to see the lower time frame trading opportunities, starting with first of all monthly chart. As monthly, weekly, and daily higher time frame will give us clear direction, removing all the noise from the lower time frame, and then we will look at the lower time frame to see potential trading opportunity. Now looking at monthly on DXY, we can see that it's a clean bearish market. This is the 7th month. That means that 6 months in a row the market was bearish. Therefore this market is potentially coming for a pullback. As we can see, it's completely overextended towards the downside. DXY has broken all these nearest support level. On the monthly, we can see support here, and also support here, which is significant level of support has broken. And with that break of this support, what we can see that this month from this support level, the market again started to push back to the upside, which is a potential monthly pullback. Now a monthly pullback can give lower time frame trading opportunity, as this market currently trending to the upside on the lower time frame. Therefore from the lower time frame we can expect DXY to push back to the upside here. Now if you look at the weekly chart to see how the market is evolving here, now from the weekly we can see that this is the weekly price action where there is a high liquidity in that area. If you guys look at it, you can see it's a very important resistance line. Okay, so this is a resistance, and also there is a resistance here from the weekly perspective, a weekly bearish engulfer, followed by we can see there is a weekly bullish move. Past week was, we saw that there was no effort from the seller. If we look at the low of this previous weekly candle, we can see there is no wick at the bottom, which is that there is no effort from the sellers. That means the buyers were predetermined to buy this market, so which is giving a signal that potentially this week as well the market could remain bullish here. And we see that from the monthly as well, we can see it's an overextended market. And also if we closely look at it, you can see this 99.40 level, which is a very high liquidity zone. Why? Because if you look at two long bearish engulfer, both of them are strongly bearish. So that means there has been stronger selling pressure in that area. So from this zone, there were a lot of sellers sold this market. And as this candle was highly bearish, above this level, there is liquidity. That means there were all the stop losses in that zone from those sellers is now becoming a high probability for the buyers to take those orders. And therefore, there is a possibility for pushing back this price above this level to grab those liquidity. So let's look at now daily chart, how we can look at this market. Now from the daily, what we can see from this point downward, there was a complete bigger impulse, which is almost a long impulse. And this kind of impulse also a potential for a reversal, as if we closely look at the past movement that we can see here, there was no such stronger impulse. Instead, we saw a smaller impulse and then correction, smaller impulse, correction. Now this kind of smaller move and then correction is a sign of trending market, and that's kind of move normally we'll see that moves a lot. But here, as this market moved with a one single drop and then started to push back to the upside, therefore the possibility for this market to go back up to 99.40 level is very high. And if we look at also this zone here, guys, this is a very important price action confirmation, and this is the basis of the all strategy that I use, and also I teach the members every single day in the Premium Academy. If you guys curious more about learning the strategy that I am trading, including all the automated system as well, accessible to the premium group, so don't miss out that opportunity as well. Now if we look at this kind of price action, what do we see here? There is a potential sign that this market may push back to the upside, as this is not a complete one single move to the upside. Instead, we see that there is a healthy trending market. You can see it's a move and then correction and move, correction, move, correction. So the market is potentially go back up to that resistance line in that fashion, as this market is showing an uptrending market structure from the daily time frame. So looking at the 4-hour chart here from the intraday time frame, what do we see here? The market, this is a support here, support here, support here, and also support here, a very important level of support on DXY. And what we could see here, the market to drop back down here to this support level, and that could lead the price back to the upside to create a new higher high. So this week in the beginning, we may see some deeper pullback, and that could be an opportunity for us to see potential upside here on DXY. And what I think the market may potentially create a bullish move in that fashion, initially drop to the trend line, feeling that imbalance, and then to go back up to create a new higher high on DXY. And that could be a potential wave for DXY to remain bullish in the beginning, to come back for a pullback. Now if we mirror that on euro dollar, let's see that how the euro dollar might perform this week. Now if we don't look at even the multi-time frame, we can see that just the mirror of DXY. If we implement on euro dollar, we can see that this is a smooth trend line that euro dollar was respecting past week. And there is a very important also an information here is 20 EMA, 10 EMA, both of these crossed over from each other from the 4-hour chart. And from this support level, we can see that euro dollar has bounced back to the trend line, has dropped to the support level, bounced back to the trend line, has dropped to the support level, and the market smoothly trending, creating series of lower high and lower low. Now this is where we saw a pullback, a couple of dodgy formation in that area on euro dollar. And what we can expect here, that this market to potentially trend back here to the trend line, and feeling that imbalance can give us potentially a very high probability trade setup on euro dollar. So that could be the potential wave in the upcoming week. And if we see that euro dollar has pulled back to the upside, or even without pullback, if we see stronger bearish price action, we can look for selling opportunity on euro dollar. And similarly, if we look at the 4-hour chart on GBPUSD, we can see that British Pound US dollar in comparison with euro dollar showing higher bearish momentum. And if we look at this move on British Pound US dollar, we can see there were two impulses here, and then on the third impulse the market has created a higher high, started to change the trend here on GBPUSD. Now this is 4-hour chart on GBPUSD. What we can see, the market also was respecting this 20 EMA, crossing that high, breaking below, and then again crossing that high, breaking below. So which is a very sharply bear market on British Pound US dollar, expecting this market as well to trend back here for initial pullback, and then to trend down again to the major direction of the trend. This is a very important support level on GBPUSD. What we can see, the market is approaching that level. So in the beginning of the week, we may find selling opportunity on GBPUSD for filling that imbalance, and then potentially to continue to trend back down. And I think this week even the market could cross that low. If we look at the weekly price action here, we can see this is a significantly important weekly support level. Now NZD/USD, if we look at the 4-hour chart on, now we can see that NZD/USD the similar fashion. If we look at the daily chart on NZD/USD, we can see there is a daily stronger impulse here from this high, which is a complete breakup structure, followed by we can see 3 days of pullback, and on the 4th day NZD/USD also started to break below with a long bearish engulfer. And that bearish engulfer on NZD/USD, if we look at the 4-hour chart again, we can see the market is trending again here to create a new lower low. So what we can see on NZD/USD in that area for the market to potentially trend back down here. So as soon as we find suitable entry opportunity on NZD/USD, we'll be looking to sell with a high probability trade setup. Now let's see dollar CAD, how the market is evolving on dollar CAD. And I would like to do a full analysis on dollar CAD, though it is almost a similar price action as DXY. We can see that dollar CAD has a different chemistry due to the strengthening on CAD, and we can see on dollar CAD 5 months was strongly bearish. Now this month we can see that in the first 2 weeks dollar CAD has made its push back to the upside along with DXY. But as this is a very sharply falling market on dollar CAD, what I think that this instrument may potentially again push back down. So if you look at the weekly chart here, we can see from the weekly perspective, which is in a pullback. So this is the weekly trend that we can see from here, a stronger move followed by this pullback, another move, pullback, another move, pullback. So now last week we saw a bullish engulfer formation with a gap open, with a bullish move, with a long wick at the top here on dollar CAD. That could bring that price, what I think, potentially back to the upside here. And this is a very important 20 EMA level on dollar CAD, could push back to the upside to this key level. Now if we look at the daily chart here on dollar CAD, we can see that it's forming an expanding triangular pattern here, which is creating a lower low and at the same time creating a higher high, which is a potentially a bullish price action, as when the market is breaking below here, grabbing liquidity from the support and showing a probability for bullish move, as it is creating a long wick. And from the daily we also see a possibility for a wick fill in that direction. So from the intraday time frame on dollar CAD, we see that whenever the market is breaking below to this 20 EMA, there is a sharp bounce back to the upside. So there is a high demand for this instrument below this 20 EMA, and we see multiple times the price respected that as well. Here is also there was a break below this 20 EMA and push back to the upside. Candle closed above this 20 EMA. So that is a sign that dollar CAD as well showing a potential for upside here. And there are a couple of key levels that we can look at on dollar CAD to go ahead and hit those levels. So therefore, lower time frame here, dollar CAD in the beginning, as with the pullback on DXY, what I think dollar CAD could come back here to break any of this previous support that can give us an opportunity to go long on dollar CAD. And this is where we will be looking to go long with a high probability trade setup. Now looking at AUD USD, now I would like to keep AUD USD little aside from other USD pairs, as AUD looks stronger than Euro, British Pound or NZD. Now we can see from the 4-hour chart here, it's not showing as bearish as Euro dollar or British Pound US dollar. So what we could see on AUD USD, what I think to move potentially in a sideway until DXY start to push back down again. So if we look at the weekly chart here on AUD USD, we can see that there is a weekly pin bar here with the gap open, which is showing potentially a bullish momentum on AUD USD. So also there is a gap open, which is an important support level here on AUD USD. And from the monthly, what we can see, AUD USD also approaching another monthly resistance line. And as this monthly, we can see like Euro dollar and British Pound US dollar, AUD USD has a very stronger monthly bullish price action. Therefore, what we can see here, this is the monthly doji on AUD USD, which is approaching this monthly resistance line. What I think the price may not be able to create a new higher high. Instead, we could see retesting the monthly resistance and potentially ranging in this lower time frame. So from the intraday perspective here on AUD USD, we can see the market is forming series of lower high and also series of higher low. Therefore, this instrument may potentially push back in a sideway, and as soon as we see any kind of directional bias structure here and then drop back down, we can look for potential buying this instrument throughout the week. Also traders, I will keep you updated in the live session as well as in our regular analysis. So make sure you keep eye in the channel by giving a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more update as well as education. Now let's look at XAU USD. Let's see on gold what kind of trading opportunity we might see this week. Looking at the monthly chart on XAU USD, we can see that from the monthly, it's a sharply bull market. If we look at the historical perspective on XAU USD, we can see that long-term picture, it's a bull market with this inverted head and shoulder, a complete inverted head and shoulder, strong breakout followed by this pullback, another bounce, pullback, and we can see another bounce. And now we see back-to-back previous 2 months form 2 monthly doji. Now this monthly doji that you can see, and also there is another monthly doji. After these 2 back-to-back monthly doji, the market has formed series of higher low. Now this month, as this is a key level of monthly support level, the price has made its bounce back to the upside. Now in the first 2 weeks, we saw that the sellers couldn't push that price back below the previous monthly low, and we see the significant push from the buyers. Therefore, this market even could try to fill this monthly long week, this current monthly price action. And from the monthly, now if we look at the weekly chart to see what kind of price action it is forming. Now previous week we saw a bullish rejection from this weekly support. Now this week we can see a pin bar formation. Now that pin bar is also bullish price action, where there is a long wick at the bottom with a healthy body. Now, as if we look at the bigger picture market structure on XAUSD from the weekly, we can see that this is bull market, and in this bull market from longer picture we can see the detailed price action here from the weekly form a bullish pin bar. Therefore this week what I think the price may potentially continue to push up back even to create a new higher high. Now dropping down to the daily to see what kind of market structure it has formed, we can see that from the daily time frame, this 3 daily price action on the on XAUSD, we can see that it's a highly bullish at the moment. We saw 2 bearish rejection, couldn't create a new lower low. Instead, the market has completely broken out of this trend line here, which is a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. From this daily bullish impulse, the price completely rejected back to the upside with this bullish engulfer. The price currently above this 20 EMA and expecting that this market to potentially remain bullish. We could see what I think initial pullback that can give further momentum for further upside here on the daily time frame. So we can see that XAUSD from monthly, weekly and daily showing possibility for further upside in this week, early and also late. If we look at the 4-hour chart here, guys, what we can see in this intraday time frame, typical bullish market structure, these 2 impulse where there is a 4-hour impulse, quite a few green candle followed by 1 rejection, and then as the market crossed that 10 and 20 EMA, we can see there is another impulsive move back to the upside. Now previous session before the weekend closure, we saw that there was a sharp bounce, and last session a bullish candle, which is if we closely look at this, all those sessions, there are every session the market was forming series of higher high and higher low. So higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrending market structure. And what I think that this week the market anytime breaking any of this low can be an opportunity to go long in this instrument. So looking at the 1 hour and even the lower time frame is where the opportunity. Now from the 1 hour chart here, we saw that the sellers tried to break multiple times from the structure, and it was strongly getting a rejection, which where we can see that the price action is highly bullish at the moment. And these 2 levels that we can see, 3353 as well as 3350 or 49 level, is a very important zone that we can look for potential buying opportunity on the lower time frame in the beginning of the week. And I think that could give in the beginning of the week a momentum for us to go long on XAUSD. And along this way, what I think the price may potentially continue to trend back to the upside. And so these are the zones that I will be looking at on XAUSD for potential trading opportunity in the beginning of the week. And also traders, if you want to access those trades that I'm sharing in the group with entry, stop loss and take profit target, as well as all the automated system that I'm using to trade the market every single day with thousands of premium members in the academy. Currently we have few spots open to take on the lifetime access to the mentorship program with a huge discount. You can find link below this video. I highly recommend you to check out the website to find out how you can join and become a part of this trading community, where you can join us for the lifetime access. You can get mentoring one-on-one as well as many other benefits that's available for the premium members in the academy. So with that said, let's look at now yen pairs to see what kind of trading opportunity we might find on GBPJPY and dollar yen, starting with GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY from the monthly, this is bullish market. Now you can see that after the previous monthly bull candle, this month the market as usual has dropped for a pullback and then bounced back to the upside. Now this is a historically bull market, and we can see that here there is a long week, stronger rejection back to the upside, another long week, stronger rejection back to the upside. Now if we look at the weekly chart here on GJ, we can see that from the weekly time frame also it is bull market. Starting from here, an impulse followed by this correction, and we can see that there is another impulse followed by deeper correction here on GBP JPY. Now previous weekly candle is a bull candle with a long wick at the top, and what I think that this week the market may potentially remain bullish here to fill that wick to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the daily chart here, we can see that there was a breakup structure on GJ. From this breakup structure, the market again has created another bullish impulse back to the upside. Now with this daily bullish engulfer, we can see the market has crossed this low and then form a bullish engulfer. We could see that with that bullish engulfer, the price may potentially remain bullish to create a new higher high. Now from the 4-hour chart here, from the intraday time frame, we can see that GBP JPY is maintaining an upside bias here. This is the impulse followed by this correction, another impulse followed by this correction here, with quite a few sideways market movement. And with that sideways movement, this is an important support level here. What I think that this week GJ may potentially break below and then to trend back up again. That could be an important area that you can look for potential trading opportunity on GBP JPY. Now let's see that dollar yen, how this market might be reacting. What I think that, and in comparison to GBP JPY, dollar yen may give us a better opportunity, as this market is slowly building up for a potential bullish impulse in the historical direction. So dollar yen historically a bull market, and we can see that after back-to-back 4 months drop on dollar yen to this key level of monthly support level, the previous 2 months we can see that dollar yen has formed a doji, a back-to-back 2 long week candles, and from this support level here on dollar yen, we can see the market has made its move back to the upside with a monthly bullish engulfer. Now this first 2 weeks, we can see from this support level on dollar yen has formed a bullish impulse, expecting this market to continue to rise to the upside to create a new higher high. Now if we look at a weekly chart here on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly, this is a weekly doji. The last week we saw a bullish candle formation with 10 and 20 EMA crossed above this level, and from this support level what we can see, the market has made a significantly bullish impulse, and here is an imbalance in this market currently, and the probability for dollar yen to move back up here to create a new higher high is very high here. Now looking at daily chart here on dollar yen, we can see a typical uptrending market structure. From here, a move followed by this pullback, and then move followed by deeper pullback, and here is the market is maintaining that bullish market structure here. This is the daily bullish engulfer, and what we can expect in this market for the price to, what I think, to come back for a pullback and then to trend back up again to create a new higher high in this market. So from the 4-hour chart here on dollar yen, this is an important support level, and with this support, what we can see that this market is, this is a very sharp impulse followed by narrow correction, and after few impulse we can see there was a breakup structure. This move that we can see on dollar yen, guys, you can see this kind of breakdown is a sign of bigger trending direction to the upside. As with this breakdown here, the price has grabbed a significant amount of liquidity and has given a momentum. Therefore, what I think dollar yen, and we could see that the price to potentially break 148.6667 level, which can give us in the beginning of the week what I think that almost nearly to 125-20 pip move possible to the upside, and after that we might see deeper pullback or potential continuation back to the upside here. So this is where on dollar yen we'll be looking to see potential bullish trading opportunity. Any trade coming along the way, traders, also I'm going to share in the group and also analysis regularly posting on the channel. And also you can stay connected by joining the Telegram, where also I do share many of my trade ideas, updates, so that you guys can stay updated, stay ahead in trading. I hope that you enjoyed this education and analysis. If you enjoyed, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.